Hey there, it's Zach from Engadget, and what we have here is the Panasonic Lumix GX1. Now, this body design may look familiar to you if you've had a GF1 camera or have seen a GF1. The overall design, this retro look, even some of the control placements, are very similar to the GF1, which was one of Panasonic's first Micro Four Thirds cameras. Came out just about 2 years ago. And so after the GF1, we've had a GF2 and a GF3, but those ended up being more consumer-friendly models that really kind of abandoned this retro look and this the overall feel, the hearty feel of the GF1. And so the GX1 really is the first successor to the GF1. So let's go ahead and just kind of think of this as what the GF2 could have been. So here we have the GX1 with the 14 to 42 millimeter X series lens. This is one of Panasonic's new lenses, and probably shouldn't have taken it off while it was extended, so we'll go ahead and pop it back on, turn off the camera, and let it retract. But these new lenses, if you've seen Panasonic's old 14 to 42 millimeter lens, it was quite a bit larger than this. So comparable in size to what I have over here, which is the 18 to 55 that comes with the Sony NEX-C3. So I mean, this is definitely a departure from that jumbo, oversized lens that didn't really feel quite right on such a compact body. So this is more of a pancake lens. But it has the full zoom range of Panasonic's full-size 14 to 42 millimeter lens. And the way Panasonic was able to achieve that was to remove the manual zoom and bring in an automatic power zoom. And you'll turn this lever instead of actually manually zooming the lens. There's also no manual focus control. We have a focus lever as well. So I'm going to pop this lens back onto the camera and power it on. Okay, so it does extend. It's not a pancake form factor when extended. So it does almost double in length here. And then if you zoom in using the power zoom, it extends to, that's the maximum length. So this is at 42 millimeters, which is an 84 millimeter equivalent because we have a Micro Four Thirds sensor inside. So this is the same size sensor that Panasonic has been using on its mirrorless interchangeable lens cameras, and Olympus as well. It's smaller than what we have here with the Sony NEX-C3. So this here is an APS-C size sensor that you'll find on some mid-range, even higher-end digital SLRs. This is a smaller Micro Four Thirds sensor. Both are larger than, of course, what we saw with the Pentax Q, which has a tiny, tiny sensor that's comparable in size to what you'd find in a point-and-shoot camera. So, decent size sensor here for sure. Going to go ahead and put the NEX-C3 away for now. So I'll pop the lens back on. And so this is a mirrorless interchangeable lens camera. As you saw, there's no mirror, and you can pop the lenses off. Panasonic offers quite a few interchangeable lenses, and it's also compatible with lenses from Olympus as well. So I'm going to go ahead and give you a walk around of the camera. So on the back we have a 3-inch 460,000 pixel touchscreen display. We have full controls, so you don't have to use the touchscreen, but it's there if you choose to. And so you have some basic controls. We have a histogram here, an on-screen histogram that you can actually position anywhere you want on the screen just by moving it around. And then we have some additional on-screen controls. If for one reason or another you don't want to use the zoom toggle on the lens, you can zoom using this on-screen control right here. Seems to have gotten stuck. There we go. Okay. So the middle position is stop, zoom out, and zoom in. And then you can also tap to fire if you want to focus and fire. We're a little bit too close to our subject here, so I'm going to zoom out. But with this tap to fire on, if we touch the screen, touch our subject, it'll focus and expose for our subject and fire the camera at the same time. Can turn that off though, because it's easy to accidentally tap the screen and fire even when you don't want to. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. And then we have a full control layout as well. So we have up top, there's a shutter release. Again, there's no zoom slider here because it's on the lens. We have a dedicated video capture button. Then we have intelligent auto, so you can actually launch into intelligent auto mode from within any of the camera's main modes. And this is basically just like a full auto, so fully automatic shooting. And then over here we have a dedicated mode dial with aperture priority, shutter priority, manual, a couple custom modes, scene mode, this is an artistic creative control mode, and then a program mode as well. And so I'll go ahead and show you the creative control. We have a variety of effects here. I was actually using miniature effect quite a bit. It's pretty cool. The same feature we have on the NEX C3. Essentially, you can choose which part of the image you want to focus. It's essentially a tilt shift effect, or what you'd get with a lens baby, but you can do this in camera here. And so you can't really tell with this white background, but anything within that focus bar will be in focus. The rest is blurry, and you kind of get a toy effect. I'll go back over here, and then we can choose, well, there's actually a toy effect there as well. High dynamic range, there's a sepia mode, high key, low key, a retro mode, and expressive, which kind of just boosts the levels. You get more saturation, a little bit more contrast. Scene modes are pretty self-explanatory. We've seen these in every camera to come out within the last 5, even 10 years. So there's nothing really all that special there. I typically keep the camera in aperture priority. Now going over to the side, we have a proprietary AV and USB connector. There is an HDMI port, and then this is for a remote control. Up top, we also have a full-size hot shoe, which is something that we lost on the GF3. So if you've been waiting for a full-size hot shoe on a Panasonic Micro Four Thirds camera, you finally have that back. We have a stereo mic as well, with left and right microphone positions clearly marked. And then going over to the front, we have the lens. We have the lens release button right over there. And then we have a focus assist light right over there. And up top, we have a pop-up flash. So you can actually press a button here on the back, and that will release the flash. So let's go ahead and turn it this way. Press this flash open, and the flash pops up. And there's actually a variety of positions you can have the flash in. So it'll fire even if it's not all the way extended, but it does extend quite a bit up so that you can reach over the lens. So it will actually fire over the lens when fully extended. But if you want, you can hold it back like that and bounce off a ceiling. You can position it like that. If you're using a wider lens, a smaller lens that the flash doesn't need to go all the way over. And you can get a variety of effects by just positioning the flash whatever way you'd like. On the bottom, we have a standard tripod connector, and we have a battery slot. It has a 1010 milliamp hour battery, and we were able to get about just over 500 still images and about 12 or so minutes of video, HD 720p video, with a full charge. And then we have an SDXC card slot on the bottom as well. So I will give you a quick walkthrough of the menu. The menu hasn't really changed a whole lot over the years. It's pretty intuitive. No real issues here. I'm going to go back over here. Menu. So we have a few different tabs here. We have a record tab, and there are 5 pages, as you can see right there, in record. And so if you want to see the full menu options, you can go ahead, and we have a gallery, dedicated gallery of the user interface that you can take a look at. We have a motion picture menu as well, custom menu, and setup, and then playback. So the camera is very intuitive for the most part. There's a couple things that you won't catch on to unless you read the user manual. One is this push wheel in the back. So you can actually push the wheel in to switch between exposure compensation and the aperture setting. So you actually have to push in the wheel, and then you can turn it left and right. So that's pretty much it. This is the Panasonic Lumix DMC-GX1.